Hello, I'll guide you on how to create a multi-agent workflow leveraging Platma's AI inbuilt capabilities and Platma's automation. So, we'll be looking at a workflow that is responsible for processing user requests. What we'll be doing is and the first one is determine the message kind, where we are calling an inbuilt prediction functionality responsible for connecting all of the requests and data to LLM and an agent execution pipeline. The only thing we need is to provide this thread ID as a kind of history ID, and a message classifier is a name of our agent that we would like to execute. Here it works as a kind of router that determines what is the kind of the message that we will be processing, and the message is given us not only in the form of it's not a text, it is a formalized data. Basically here it has kind and language. We ensure that the data provided by this agent always corresponds with the particular data schema so that it is easier to be processed in any kind of automation. So we now have the kind of the message and language, then we switch based on the kind, whether it's dialogue, whether it's not, whether the user is trying to proceed with the dialogue and the questioning, or whether he's asking something as a one-off question or just ending the dialogue out of itself. So once we know the kind and the type of the user, we may determine the main issue that the user has. Basically, we would also access their issue and send their impulse. Why are they trying to write us up? What do they want fixed or advised on? We also execute the assistant here, save all of the data that we would need for future reference. Then we would get the dialog history using the inbuilt Platma functionality that handles all of the data access and storing. We update some personal info for the user and then generate the recommendation using the aforementioned prediction functionality. But what we do in addition here is we provide the data that would be available to the assistant on this exact message processing and will not be stored in the history of the communication in the dialogue, but it may affect the way that we would respond here. So we also have the message language metadata passed here, which ensures that whenever the assistant responds with the text to show up to the user, the text would be processed in the language that we have said. Usually we take it from the user profile or the language that the user has asked us the question in, so that it is the best language to respond in the situation. Then we save the data, once again using the inbuilt functionality. We update the user information, trying to extract additional information from there using an additional assistant, and update the dialogue and message in our database with any data that we have acquired during this workflow. Then we respond to the user with the data. Now let's look at what is the data itself, how is it stored. We'll be looking here at the users inside our data tab, which allows us to easily create new tables, to edit rows, to filter something out, adding new columns, changing the way the data is stored, or creating something new here. And in addition, we are given an ability to design anything that we want using our what you see is what you get inbuilt editor with a lot of components. Here we're mainly working with the users that we have acquired from working with our system, which is connected to the queries, to the user data, and the query is basically a connection to our database that's responsible for providing the rows to list. It is easy to change everything here just by drag and dropping new components, trying to resize in it, or changing the styles from the components, which allows you to easily create a multi-agent workflows, throw up some design, create a little bit of a data functionality, and get an out-of-the-box system capable of everything, and you get your ready-to-use MVP, which you could connect via the HTTP API anywhere that you would want, or you could create a UI that you would share with your customers or testers, and then proceed from there to create one of the kind application you would want. Thank you for your attention.